Okay, lackeys and slackies, we're going to find out. You'll see in the previous video, this is the Hydronic M-2 D8W that I took out of that 1110 the other day. This is the new coolant pump that I had put in a previous video. And I got the unit on the bench. And you will see, maybe you can see the corrosion inside of that. Anyways, that's for a different video. What we're going to do today is I've got the coolant pump that I took out about a week ago that no wiki doesn't want to spin no more, and that's what I put in this heater. So I'm going to take this guy apart and see what was going on in here. And right now, just for starters, I've got a 24 volt power probe. Simple, just gives you the ability to put some voltage there, and actually in the troubleshooting guide it tells you to put voltage to the coolant pump to see if it works. So we're going to do just that. 24 volts, I've got my negative on negative. Here's positive right here. Nothing. Whoops. Hit the other one, make sparks. Angry things happen. Alright, nothing. Nothing. I hear some interference in there, but we got nothing. Nothing. Alright, we're going to take that thing apart. Get this out of the way. And I am going to proceed to take this apart. Okay. Back at her. Something is a little funky here, but I got the 4 screws out. And we're going to see what we got here. Oh, looks like we have a seal, 2 seals in there. Little condom on the end of the shaft. A small lock washer. Sure, like a little. That must be their bearing. Just a little condom that fits in that hole. And you've got a thrust washer basically with a little notch on it, 2 of them. And this should be a brushless motor. Actually, it should work encapsulated in there. So we're going to see what we got. Sure, you can feel the pull. That's basically how these work. That impeller is all that drives that coolant through the whole system. And you saw me put voltage to it and it doesn't work. And it looks to me like, sure, there's another thrust washer down there. And wetness, which is fine. It's on the coolant side. This must be immersed in coolant to keep it cool. It has to be. It runs in coolant, that little motor. You got your magnets in there. And let's see about this. Let's see if we can get this puppy apart. Uh-oh. Can you see that? We got coolant coming out of there. That should be the motor. There should be nothing. Excuse me. Nothing in there. This is going to be quite interesting. Oh, she's full of coolant. Wonder she doesn't move. She's soaked in coolant. Somehow coolant got from the dry side, or from the wet side into the dry side. Sure enough, you can see the copper, the coating on this circuit board. The green isn't from the coolant, it's from corrosion. So this got flooded. That's why it don't work. I'm sure it burned that board right up. So now we know, but how in the hell, excuse my French, but I don't excuse it. How would coolant get, let's see, you got a nice plug there, super duper fit, I mean tight, plugs protrude, you got a seal here, oh, it even says Swiss made. Swiss made. Boy, I would think they would make really, really good stuff. Okay. Anyhow, there should be no coolant in there. That's supposed to be dry. That's electricity in there. How could that get through? The only way that could get through is right here, where this metal is molded into the plastic. Down there. And of course we'll never know it if I filled that up with water just to see if it's going to take capillary action, and when this heats up it's going to suck it in just like a wick and eventually fill that up. When this thing expands, you got all kinds of different things going on here. Thermal expansion, it's going to open up cracks if there are any down inside there. I would guess they have a problem in there, because really it doesn't look like there's any way that coolant could get past. It's sealed so nice here. You've got an O-ring seal and a face seal in here. Keeping the coolant out. Unless that... Well, anyways, that's what happened. Now we know the rest of the story. She'll never work again. And like I said, you can see the board is just crap. She's corroded right away. You can't put a circuit board underwater, it won't work. I guess unless it was potted or something like that, but that's it. She ain't gonna work no more. Time for the art bin. Oh, maybe some, yeah. Anyways, alright, now we know why that coolant pump doesn't work. Not even 6 months old, mind you, and it only, I guess, they took delivery of the machine in the summertime, so they wouldn't have used this thing until probably 2 months ago. So who knows how long she's been flooded. It makes sense on that other video too, or the one that you're going to see first, that this came with as I was saying, and my son walked in the shop here, I had to talk to him. This thing couldn't have been running for about 2 months, and when I pulled it out in this other video you'll see before this one, you'll see me whining about corrosion on another plug, which I showed you on that particular unit itself. Today we ordered a whole new wire harness because somehow that antifreeze got into those sealed plugs. I have no clue how. I don't know if during install they spilled and had the wires all hanging there. I couldn't tell you, but today when I was talking to the customer, I put that brand new heater on that you'll see in this previous video to this. Today the heater was running on its own. The control module would not, the 7-day timer would not shut it off. I had them disconnect the power. Based on what I showed you in the previous video with the greenies in that one plug, I'm guessing in the control side of it that there's some shorting going on, and it's just doing what it wants to do. So I'll be going back out to the woods yet again with the wire harness from the factory Deere to the Espar heater. I'm going to throw that whole harness away. It ain't worth peeling apart and looking at it. There's this antifreeze somehow got into this and the wires, and that's where I got the green stuff. Like I said, on that plug that I showed you on a previous video. You'll have to go back and look if you want to see it. But and most likely, going back to this heater that I took out in that plug, let me get my pointer in there, where the corrosion is, I highly doubt that this is leaking through and coming through the computer circuit board into this plug, but this is the plug that was full also. And the other day, I guess, when I pulled this one off, this is right where it goes, this one had some greenies going on it too. So if you follow this, and this was full of antifreeze, it was coming through here into this plug. Could it have wicked all the way through the copper and into here and down there? I don't know. Anything's possible. So what I did at that time was clean this up and put some dielectric grease like a good guy should. And we snapped this on, and it still didn't work. It gave me the code that the overheat sensors were bad, and that's what took us into putting a different heater on, because we couldn't get parts for this one. So was it the control circuit shorting out this whole time, and now it's doing it on another brand new heater? Probably, because of the corrosion problems in these wires. You never know. Anything, I don't discount anything these days. Anything is possible. So I'll bring you back when we get back to that and see where we're at. Okay, thanks for watching.